Hey, Miss Carolyn. I'm just trying to get my live pulled up so I can see comments. Well, all right, let's refresh it and see if that helps. Hey, Rhonda. Well, I still don't see it, y'all. Oh, Miss Carolyn, that shirt that I told you I was working on yesterday and I had bleached it, it turned out beautiful. So I'll be putting together that live here in just a couple of days. Rhonda, I'm just looking to see if I can find the live on my computer so I can see your comments. But I'm not seeing it yet, so I'll just give it a few minutes and try again. Okay, as we know, Joyce changed the name of her group. It used to be My Glitter Dealer. Now it's called Glitter Drops and Sparkle Pops. And I have just tons of glitter that she sent to me. Is that not amazing? Excuse me. So I'm going to show y'all a little bit of the glitter today. Not a whole lot. And then I'll be doing another one. I'll show some more when we finish up this cup. But then I'm going to do another live that is doing nothing but showing her glitter. And I'm going to try to get as much as I can put under epoxy for you guys so you can see it well. I have a few here that are done. So I'm going to show those and just a couple of others. And then we'll get started on the cup real quick. Hey, Wendy. Aren't these beautiful? Holy cow. I must say, and I've said it before, and I'm sure if y'all have watched my lives about Joyce, she has a knack for picking out some of the prettiest glitter for not being able to see it in person and touch it. Because I know that's hard, even when we go to these sites to try to buy glitter. You're pretty much guessing at what you think it's going to look like and what you're hoping it's going to look like. But, buddy, she nails it every single time. It's just amazing to me how she can do this. The first one I'm going to show you is called Frosty. This stuff, oh my goodness. I'm going to do a cup using this, and I'm going to spray paint it in different colors. I'm just going to do a squirt here, a squirt there, kind of thing. And then I'm going to glitter with this. And if it does what I think it's going to do, y'all are going to be amazed. But here is the Frosty under epoxy. And you see it's got a lot of sparkle to it. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. And it's funny because these colors I have picked out, y'all, are kind of like my favorite colors. And I guess that's why I did those first in epoxy. The next one is called Sandcastle. And I love this color. It looks like sand with, there's a little bit of gold in there. And there's some silver sparkle, which is, the silver is the octagon. And it's like a chunky mix. And there's a white. but it really does look like sand. If you guys could see it the way I see it, it's so, so pretty. This is it under epoxy. And I just made a small keychain, but this is one of those, I think, had I made it larger, you would be able to see the colors better. But that's it as it is in a small one. And it sparkles like nobody's business. I absolutely love that color. Well, I love all these. And I know if y'all have watched my lives, I've showed this color before. Holy camole. It's called Sassy. It's a hot pink with purple dots in it. It is stunning, really. I'm not a pinky kind of girl. Pinks and greens are my colors, you know. I could take them or I could leave them. But this pink right here, I fell in love with this. I knew it was hot pink and that looked really pretty, but when I put it under epoxy and I saw this, look at that. This became one of my favorites. You can see the purple specks in it real well with it in epoxy. But it's hot pink and you can see the ugly side is still pretty. Isn't that amazing? Now this one right here is another one. It's like, oh my gosh. This is called Shattered Shells. It's a chunky mix. It has coral in it and silver. And it looks like maybe a little white mixed in there as well. But this stuff is beautiful. Beautiful. And here's the good side under epoxy. And that's what we call the bad side. I love these. The bad side turns out just as pretty as the front. Because you know that's pretty if it does that. And now this other one is the color that we're going to be using today on the cup. We did a little competition in Joyce's group where everybody picked out a cup that they wanted to see a tutorial done on and the technique that they wanted to see. So from everyone that entered, we picked out 3 that had a lot of likes and stuff. So we went with 3 of them to narrow it down. And then we had everyone vote on those top 3. And Tish is the one that won. So I am doing a glittered Woodgrain Geode cup. And that's why I'm having to do it in 2 parts. Because I'm going to do the glitter part today, but I'm going to do it with the epoxy method. And show for our new people, just getting started, how to do a glittered cup using the epoxy method. And then once that dries, I'll put another coat on it to make it smooth. Then I will spray paint it black. When that dries, I will spray paint it white. Then once all of that dries, I'll go back and we'll do the wood grain over the white. Now once the ink dries, which doesn't take very long at all, that's when I'll go back in and make it into a geode. And I'll show you how to wipe the paint away so that you can see the glitter up underneath all of those layers. So it's a very pretty cup. And it's pretty easy to do. So most of you shouldn't have a problem recreating it if you wanted to. But the glitter we're using is Fairy Godmother. And now as the winner, Tish received some of the glitter for free, which I thought was really awesome. We started it out as just a friendly competition. And then Joyce came up and she's like, hey, I'm going to give the winner some glitter that we use. So I thought that was pretty cool. But it's called Fairy Godmother. And it's one of those that has it's a chunky mix. And it's almost like a color shift. Some of them has the round in it changes colors depending on how you move the bag and you look at the colors. And then, of course, there's a blue in there as well. And the blue doesn't change just the chunky part in here actually changes colors. And I don't know if you can see it well enough on camera or not. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Missy, Lisa. But this is really pretty. And here it is under epoxy. Of course, we'll get to see some of it later, a better look. But you can see in this one how the colors change, like a color shift almost. And then you have the blue, which doesn't change. And then this is the back side of it. So see, it is another one that is just as pretty on both sides. And those are the ones I like. Okay, so that's those. Those are my faves. And this one is one that I did a cup over the Christmas rush, I could say. I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of glad it's over so I can finally breathe again. I was really stressed out because Christmas was coming. I shipped the ones out 2-day delivery. Nobody got them in 2 days, which really upset me. If I pay extra to get the 2-day delivery, I want my customers to get 2-day delivery, but they didn't. And that had me stressed, and then trying to get the others done, and I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. But it's over. Now I can clean up the she shed where I can walk again. But I did one of the cups. It was a glittered cup with ripped up newspaper pieces, and then I burnt the edges all the way around it. And I used Mod Podge to put the newspaper on. And then I did a, I wrote her name in glitter over the top of the newspaper and all. And I cut the words, the words out in vinyl and did it kind of like a peekaboo. Once the glitter dried and the Mod Podge, I pulled the vinyl up to reveal her name, and it turned out beautiful. But this is the color I used on it. And had I not done anything else to the cup, it was stunning, just as it was, with nothing but this color on there. It is so pretty. So, so pretty. And this is called Lagoon. And it sparkles really good. Now, this one is one that Joyce has had for a while, but I love it. If you guys like to do the tack it method, this is a good one for that. It is a halo, and it finally got named, and it's Durkle, kind of like purple, but Durkle. Look at that. It's pink and purple. And once you do the tack it method on it, and you get that halo to shine through, it is beautiful. And you can see the sparkle when I move it. And once it smooths with the tack it method, you still keep the sparkle in there. The sparkle doesn't go away, but you get the halo effect with it as well. So it's gorgeous. I'll show y'all a couple of these in here. I've been trying to sort them out so that I have the specialty stuff and shapes. I have a lot of the halo here. And then I have the high sparkle and stuff over here. It's not working well. I need to get me a bigger box because Joyce has been gracious enough to send me a ton of colors. And look, this is one of the holographic colors. It's called Happy. You can see the halo in it, and I haven't even taken it out of the bag. This one I haven't even opened. You can see it goes from a yellow-green to an orange. I can't wait to do this. This is going to be so pretty. Hey, Billy Joe, Wendy. I love you show the glitters. That helps me to see. It does. It does, Wendy, and that's why I like to do that. I try to put everyone's glitter in epoxy so that you can actually see what it's going to look like on your cups. I know that helps me because I do keep these handy so I can refer back to my little pieces and I can tell more about what goes with what colors. And it really does help. It does help a lot. This is one of the high sparkle, I believe, and it's called Denim and Diamonds. But look at those colors. I love Joyce's glitter. Like I said, she has a knack for picking this stuff out. It's just amazing. There's a couple in here. This one I'm going to be doing a cup with. It's called Mermaid Tails. And it's a color shift. It goes from purple to turquoise green. You can see it down here when I move it. And this one I'm going to use in a suicide awareness cup. Because that's the colors, is purple and teal. So that's my plan with this cup. I already have the images done. And this is another color shift. It's Show Me Melon. Show Me Your Melons. And it's a purple reddish color. And it shifts to a green as well. And you can see the green color over here. And then the purple in the middle. But as you move it, they all change. There's a good view of the green. So, like I said, this woman knows her stuff. This one is, I think this is a color shift. Joyce, you can help me. It's called Fish Scales. Yeah, now I see it. So it's changing from green to purple. And it's a pretty green. And like I said, I'm not a pink or a green person. But I really like this one. And see, if I turn it, you can see the purple over here. So that's pretty cool. These are going to look really good on a cup. Valentine's Day is coming up. She has some hearts. It's the heart shapes. And these are going to be fun. So I already have a little Geode coaster made with these. Turned out really good. I hand placed them because I didn't want it to be just solid hearts because then you can't see it. This one everyone likes a lot that Joyce has, and it's called Ellie, which is the name of her granddaughter. And one of my mod in my group, her granddaughter is named Ellie as well, and she made a cup for her granddaughter using this. It's a holographic, and it's pink and purple, and as you move it, you can see a little bit of goldish orange color come in it. Yeah, see that? It's really, really pretty, and it's perfect for the little girls because you get the pink and the purple, and then when you move it, it changes colors, so I bet the little babies really like those. Let's see what else we got in here. We got tons. This one's pretty. It's a halo. Perfect for the tack it method. It's called Harper. And it's purple. And you can see how it changes colors right there. See that? That would be so pretty using the tack it method. Okay, so that's some of them. Like I said, I have a lot of her glitter. So let's move on and get going with our cup. Let me see if I can get this live pulled up now so I can see your comments. Okay. I already have my epoxy measured out. Well, I moved my chair and I can't get back up under. There we go. Okay. Now, when I do a glitter cup, when I do the epoxy method to apply glitter, it does not take much at all, y'all. Very little. What I do is I put it on pretty heavy because I want to make sure that I get everything covered. I don't want to miss any spots. Because if you miss it, well, then you got to go back and redo it. And it kind of shows. It never lays the same as the rest of the cup. So I put it on heavy. But then I go back and wipe it off as much as I can get off of it. And then I apply my glitter. Your glitter is only going to stick to the wet epoxy. If it's not wet, it's not sticking to anything. Once you pour the glitter over the epoxy, it's not going to be contaminated in any way if it falls off. Because again, the glitter is only going to stick to what is wet. Now, if you put it on and take it off after it's stuck to the cup and it has the epoxy on it, well, yeah, then it's contaminated. I bought me this little stir stick here, and I absolutely love it. I didn't think I would because it's very thin and it's metal, but I find I'm not getting as many bubbles with this, and I stir like a crazy person. So what I can do to get less bubbles is awesome. But this thing is really cool. It wipes off clean, easy. And I was told if it gets gooky, you know, if it gets messed up, all you do is clean it with some, acetone. And everything comes right off of it. So I love my stir stick. I did mix more, way more than I need, which is fine because I do the molds with whatever I have left over. And I thought it would be cool to make a keychain with this color and do the same process on the keychain as well. So, I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. Hey, Miss Wanda. Billy J, you got a lot of her color. It's gorgeous. Really, really is. I thought about doing this ahead of time so y'all didn't have to watch me stir epoxy. But then I would have had to have rushed a lot and take the chance of it setting up, and I didn't want that to happen. And like I said, I stir like crazy anyway, so. And in this case, it doesn't matter. If you want to stir the heck out of it, go right ahead, because we're going to be putting it on the cup, but then we're going to glitter over it, so your bubbles aren't going to show anyway. So just go ahead and stir it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I'm not one that does the whole stir for 3 minutes and change it to a different cup and all of that stuff. I have found it's not really necessary. I'm sure maybe it does help with the bubbles. I don't know. But I've never had a problem with it. Okay. Now, I did sand my cup because it had a color on it. It wasn't a powdered cup or anything. It was just a colored cup in kind of a bronze color. And I sanded it lightly just to make sure that the paint is going to stick to it well. Oh, and I do cover my footballs with plastic wrap. And it just helps protect them, keep epoxy from getting all over them and stuff. Okay. And see, this is one of the molds I'm working on too. And if I have extra, I'll normally just pour it in there. Now, I get my gloves, among a lot of other things, from Harbor Freight. You can get their 20% coupons. Their gloves end up being like $5 a box after your coupon, which is very good, and they have sales on these gloves constantly. That's where I get my glitter trays from, so I love those. All right. And like I said, I start out kind of heavy, but then I go back and wipe it all off. All you want to do is make sure you cover every little centimeter of a cup for the glitter to stick to. It does not take much. If you put a lot of a lot of epoxy, it's going to take a lot of glitter, and it's not necessary. You don't need it to cover your cup with glitter. So you're wasting your epoxy and you're wasting your glitter as well. And I don't know any of us that want to waste either of those. And actually, I didn't pour a whole lot on here. It's going on real good. You want it almost to the stage that if you're doing it dry, you can hear that. Once you get epoxy on it, you don't hear it, and your hand glides back and forth real easy. You don't want it to drip. You just want the thinnest layer possible of epoxy. And now I've tried that hang method that we've all heard about. It just don't work for me, y'all. I get millions and millions of micro bubbles in it, and I see no reason to work that dang hard. Because everybody says, oh, it takes a lot of muscle and you just got to work it until your arm hurts. No. I'm not going to hurt myself to get epoxy on a cup. I am not. But, I mean, it works for a lot of people, just not me. And I think that little bit that I put on there has completely covered the cup really good. I don't seem to have a lot of extra. And you see, you can't even hardly see the bubbles. And trust me, there's a lot of bubbles in it with me stirring it the way I did. I think this is going to be a fun cup. I can't wait for the epoxy to get done and me get it smooth so we can move on to the next steps with the ink. And that's really quick too. Doing a wood grain is really, really fast. The alcohol dries fast. Okay, now I'm just going to use my whole hand to help get any excess off. And make sure I got everything covered. Okay. Almost touched that with the epoxy hand. All right, let me see if it's coming up now. Oh, y'all, I got my Cricut set up, my new Cricut maker. I'm so excited. Well, I'm still not seeing it on here. I don't know why. I've refreshed and everything, but it's still not coming up. All right, that's okay. I'm going to just close that up. I don't see it. Now, these are my glitter trays. Like I said, I do get them from Harbor Freight. They're like $3, somewhere around there. I absolutely love them. It catches my glitter. It has this opening in it, and I can just hold this back over and pour it back in. And I use my little cutesy brush and just kind of use it to help me. I started using these a while back, and now I notice a lot of people are using them, which I think is pretty cool. All right. Oh, y'all. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Look at that color. This is beautiful. It's got all different colors in here. Okay, now when I'm doing a chunky like this, I do go back and press it down with my hands to make sure it's laying nice and flat and I haven't missed any spots. I can't believe how pretty this is. Wow. You can see a teal, a lime green, pink, orange, purple, the blues. Ah, just gorgeous. This is so pretty. See those colors? Oops. Let's knock off the excess first before I start moving it around. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's fairy tales. This is unbelievable. I see yellow, a little bit of black. And when I say a little bit of black, I mean there's like, if there's probably 20 specks on here, that's stretching it. It's just enough to give it a little added color. But there's pinks, blues, purples, yellow, green. And it's like a color shift. When you move it, you can actually see it changing as I spin it around. I don't know if y'all can see that very well or not. Let's see if I can get it where you can see. You see how the color is just kind of like gliding across the cup. So, so pretty. Let me get me a little scoop, which I forgot. Okay, so I've got the cup pretty well covered with glitter. So now I want to go back and just push it in. just like that. Just kind of mash it, and it helps fill in those spots. And because it is chunky, you can feel that some of it's sticking up when I'm pushing it with my hand. I can feel it kind of a little bit sharp feeling. But that's okay, because we're going to go back and take care of that. And that's part of what pushing it down like this does as well. But I'm more concerned with making sure that I get everything covered on the cup. And that's what I'm doing now. I just want to get it all filled in. And see, there's no epoxy getting on my hand at all. I put a thin layer, just enough to hold the glitter down. So I have no excess epoxy on my cup. And that's what you want. Only thing getting on my hand is the excess glitter. I am just amazed at this color. Y'all, this would make a beautiful frozen cup. The colors in here are perfect for Elsa and her sister and Olaf. These colors are absolutely perfect for that. If you have a little girl in your family, this is the color. Get some of this and make her a little frozen cup. It's an iridescent. Thank you, Joyce. I knew it was something. Remind me of colors of the ocean. It does. Yep. With the sun shining on it, you know how the sun hits the water and kind of sparkles? Yep. I just can't get over this color. And I've seen a lot of glitter. This is beautiful. Alright, almost done with this part of it. I know this is boring, y'all watching me just push on glitter. But I want to make sure I get it all covered really good. Because once I do the wood grain, and I go back and I take off some of the ink and the paint in certain spots, you will see the glitter. So you don't want to reveal a spot that didn't have glitter stuck on it well. Because this is what we're going to see behind the wood grain. Alright, let me get the bottom. Oops. Dummy. Not y'all, me. Okay. I want to get this bottom real good because it has like an indentation in it. Holy smokes. Now, if for some reason you don't get good coverage on your first coat, you can go back and do another coat. But this is really looking good to me, so I don't think I'll have to. I am just in love with this. In love with these colors. Okay, now you can push it down with your hand like this to make sure you get all of the chunky pieces to lay down. That's the way I did it for a long time. I just use my finger and just kind of make sure I press everything like that. But somebody got smart. And I think it is an excellent, excellent idea. You can use parchment paper. I use this, what is this called? Freezer paper. It's just like a waxed paper. And all you do is put your cup down on it. Fold the paper over. You don't want to slide it around because you will remove the glitter if you do. But you just kind of roll it around like this. And between your hands and your table, you're actually making these, the chunky in here lay flat. And if it's laying flat, you're going to use less epoxy for your next coat. Trying to make it smooth, because you do want a smooth surface before you do your alcohol inks. And so the smoother you can get the glitter to lay, the less epoxy you're going to use. If it's laying flat, one thin coat should be enough. But like I said, don't slide your cup around on your paper, because you will remove some of the glitter if you do. Now, see, I removed very, very little glitter. And that's what you want. We're not trying to remove it. We're just trying to make it lay flat. Now, of course, it doesn't do the bottom. I could, but I don't want to take a chance of accidentally touching the sides of the cup and knocking off some of the glitter from the side. So I'm just going to use my hand to do the bottom. Just make sure it's all flat. And be sure and get that edge, because that's where your glitter is going to stand up. And don't forget the rim of your cup. Just run your hand across it this way. Just like that. And then once you do that, you will need to go make sure that everything is laying flat. So I just kind of go along the edge and tap it smooth. Just like that. Okay, now what I'll do is put this cup on the turner, and it's not going to take an extra long time or anything for it to dry, because it is just a super, super thin coat. Look how pretty that is, y'all. Oh my gosh. This is beautiful. I'm telling you, I am going to do a frozen cup with this. This is going to be beautiful. Beautiful. And now, like I said, I'm going to go back over this once it dries. I'm going to let it spin tonight. And tomorrow in the morning, I'll come out and put another coat of epoxy over it, just so that I get the smooth surface. And then once that coat dries, I'll come back on and do the second half of the cup. Like I said, I'm going to make it smooth first. Then I'm going to spray black spray paint over the whole cup. Don't miss any areas, because all of this is important when you're starting to do your geode part of it. You want to completely cover the cup with black. So don't freak out. It's just the process. After you do the black, let it dry, go back and spray paint it white. Use a good white. I think mine is... Lisa, what brand did you use when you did all of your cups? Because I went and bought some and it works perfect. It does not take much paint at all to get good coverage. But it's across the room. But I've started using it because Lisa did a huge order around Christmas. And she told about what kind of good coverage she got with it. So I had to go try it. And she is absolutely right. It's a good paint for what we do here. But I'm going to cover it with white completely. And then once that dries, that's when we'll go and do the wood grain technique over the whole cup. Now you could, if you wanted to, make it a peekaboo cup. You'd do the same process, but then you would just pull off your vinyl to reveal the glitter underneath it. So we're not doing that. We're making it a geode. Once I get all of the colors, do the alcohol inks for the wood grain, then I go back in with the acetone and a rag and just rub off spots. And they're not uniform. They're just all over the place. And that is what creates the geode part of it. And then you can find, if you want to put lettering on it, you sure can. Once it all dries and sets, put your coat of epoxy on it. And then you can do your lettering. Y'all, I can't stop turning this cup. Oh my gosh. I knew it was pretty in the bag, but even through that bag, it does not show anything like this. This baby sparkles like crazy. And it changes colors. I hope y'all are seeing part of it. Rust-Oleum. Yes, ma'am. It did. This cup is just beautiful. I almost hate to cover it up, but knowing that we're going to be revealing parts of the glitter with the epoxy on it, it's going to be so pretty. Y'all, I'm not saying it just because I'm doing a live in Joyce's group, and I swear to God I'm not. You need to get this color. Y'all need to go order Fairy Godmother. I swear. This is unbelievable. Look in there. See that sparkle? And when it changes colors, when you roll it around, my goodness. I had no idea it was going to be this beautiful. All right, guys, I don't want to hold y'all up anymore just staring at glitter and turning a cup around. I want to get it turning so it can get dried, and then we can move on to the other parts of it. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be a fun cup, and I have really enjoyed the competition per se through the whole process. It's been a lot of fun, and we ain't even half done yet. So once everything's set, I'll announce part 2 in my group. Joyce will announce part 2 for you guys, and then we'll get it finished up. Thanks for joining me. Good night, y'all.